Hello,
How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. What's your name?
My name is Ahmed.
Ahmed. Okay, Ahmed, where are you from?
I'm from Iraq.
From Iraq. Okay, do you still live in Iraq now?
Yeah, I still live in Iraq.
Awesome. Ahmed, my name is Yas, and I live in the city of Johannesburg. Okay, so do you know where Johannesburg is?
Mm, uh, I think in Germany.
It sounds like it can be in Germany,
Yeah,
but it's in South Africa.
in South Africa.
Okay, cool. So tell me more about yourself. What is your job?
Currently, I am studying only English. I focus only to improving my conversational skills.
Yeah.
I want to learn more vocabulary.
Okay,
I want to talk like a native speaker English.
I see.
Oh, yeah. I want to be natural,
Hmm.
so everybody understand me instantly.
Okay.
Yeah. This is nowadays I focus on just studying.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So we can talk. I can't even pronounce your city,
Oh, yeah.
Johannesburg. Jo
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg, South Africa. Yeah. And what is the main language there?
So in South Africa, it's really cool. So we have 11 official languages. So a lot of
Oh my
language.
gosh.
But
Oh, so it's hard to communicate, I think, with
yeah,
other people.
yeah. No, look. So we have 11 languages, but English is our official language. So in other words, schools are taught in English, university
Uh-huh.
English,
Yes,
news, everything is in English. Um,
yes,
Yeah, I think it's really cool because basically 500 years ago, England colonized South Africa. And when
yes.
they came to South Africa, there were about, I think it was 9 different tribes that were living here. And
Yeah.
they brought English. The 9 different tribes all spoke their own language. That's why we still include them as our official languages as well.
Yes, and as I think you guys speak in Afrikaans and the French.
Yes, yeah. So Afrikaans is another language that's native to South Africa, and it's
Y-
derived from Dutch. So like in Holland, what they speak is Dutch. And
Yeah.
after England colonized South Africa, then the Dutch came. Netherlands came and colonized us. So Afrikaans sounds very similar to Dutch, but it's not exactly the same. So I can speak Afrikaans. If I went to Holland and I spoke
Yeah.
Afrikaans, be
Yeah.
able to understand me and I could understand them as well. Um, like
Uh-huh.
I can show you an example. For example, in Dutch, if somebody asked you, "How are you?" you would say, "Ik is goed," like this. And then in Afrikaans, if somebody asked you the same thing, "How are you?" you'd say, "Ik is goed."
Do you mean Dutch? It's a language.
Yeah,
You
Dutch as
mean?
the language. Yes, yes. So the
Uh,
language that they
like English and Arabic and the
speak.
Afrikaans.
Yes, yes. So
Mhm.
I'm saying Afrikaans and Dutch are very similar when you speak the language.
Oh,
Yeah,
it still uses the same alphabet, but not the shape like English.
exactly, exactly. So it's still the same alphabet, except for Dutch, the pronunciation is a little bit different than in Afrikaans. Um, but yeah, of the 11 languages, I only speak English and Afrikaans. So yeah, I speak
Yeah.
Afrikaans, I can speak some Spanish and Chinese. Those are the 4 languages.
But your main language is English or
No, no,
Afrikaans?
my main language is English.
Main language is English.
Yeah.
So you learn Dutch and Afrikaans when you grow up, or
So how it works, right? So at our schools, from primary school to high school, you have to do English as a subject, and then you
Yes.
have to choose another language. So usually the second language is either Afrikaans, and then it
Yeah.
depends on where you are in South Africa. So like where I live, Johannesburg, you could choose Zulu as well. Zulu is another South African language.
Oh
And
wow! God help you.
and then if you live in Cape Town, as an example, then you can choose Tswana. So you have to do English. So English you have to do, and then the second language you can choose Zulu,
Yeah.
Tswana, or anything. Hi, John.
Tswana also it's a language.
Yes, yes, it's also a language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it Zulu and Tswana and the Africans? It is nearest to each other, or sometimes
Yeah.
words the same in two language.
Yeah. Okay. So like I would say that Zulu and Tswana are similar to each other. Afrikaans is not similar to anything else in our country.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
English. So I'll even write it down for you. So we have Afrikaans. I'll write down all the languages for you. We have English, we have Tswana, we have Zulu, we have Xhosa, we have Sotho as well.
Wow.
These are all the languages that people speak all over South Africa. And then we also have, so Sotho is broken up into northern Sotho and southern Sotho. So those two languages, northern Sotho and southern Sotho, they are very, very similar. It's almost like, somebody that speaks Arabic in, let's say, Egypt will
Yeah.
speak a different kind of Arabic.
Different accent sometimes. We say different word, but still Arabic.
Yeah, exactly. So the northern and
Yeah.
southern Sotho is the same thing. It's just small differences within
Small
the language.
differences. Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
tell me about the traditions there.
Oh, wow.
I'm curious
Yeah.
to know more about South Africa.
Yeah, okay, no problem, no problem. I was just writing down all of this for you. So Swati
Yeah.
and the last language.
Like what's the tradition? What's the events you
Yeah,
got in a year?
yeah.
And
Okay, so basically, these are the languages of South Africa, and then obviously within each of these languages, you have different cultures, and different traditions. So I can give you a nice tradition, Zulu, as an example, right?
yeah,
So a
yeah,
nice tradition from Zulu is marriage. Okay, so Zulu
yeah.
people are basically indigenous to South Africa. They were the first, right? And
I can understand you. Indigenous, what's that mean?
oh, indigenous means that they are from South Africa. They were here all their lives, whereas
Yes,
English
yes,
people came from England. Afrikaans people, their ancestors are from Holland, you see. So they're not South African, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So
They mix between two culture.
yes, exactly. So
Yes,
in the
yes,
Zulu tradition, right, if a man wants to marry a woman, he has
yes.
to obviously ask the woman's father, for her hand in marriage. And then the
Yeah.
father can ask him to do something which is called paying lobola. So paying lobola means that you have to provide the father with livestock. So, like chickens and cows and goats and sheep in order to say thank
Like
you.
slaughter cows and sheep.
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but it's very tricky because the thing is, you have to sort of decide what is his daughter worth. So if you give him, let's say, one cow, that
Hello again. Sorry, it happens every day. Internet problems.
no problem, no problem. I also get
So
internet problems myself.
yes, I go back to you, and I found you with another
In a-
student. So
yeah. Yeah, so well, at least it was just a 5-minute lesson. But yes, you were still telling me Eid al-Fitr after Ramadan.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I want to know. I want to know what is the tradition of Ramadan there in South Africa.
Okay, yeah, cool. So the tradition here in South Africa, well, first we have to look at how Islam was introduced into South Africa.
Yeah,
Unlike northern African countries, that get their Islamic traditions and the religion from the Middle East. So, like from Saudi Arabia through Egypt and then spread
yeah,
across that way. You'll find that as you move more south, the Muslim countries become less and less. So South Africa, how South Africa got introduced to Islam was many years ago. Remember, I told you about England and Netherlands coming to South Africa and all of that. What they would do is they would travel by ship all the way from Europe. They would stop in South Africa. Then from there, they would go to India, Pakistan, Malaysia, those countries. As you know, they're predominantly Muslim countries. So what they would do is they'd pick up people from there and then come back to South Africa and drop them off here. So Islam was introduced into South Africa from Pakistan, India, Malaysia. Like, for example, my
yeah.
ethnicity is Cape Malay, meaning my ancestors were from Malaysia. Okay. So,
Do you mean let me see.
yeah, Malaysia.
Malaysia. Malay.
Yeah.
We call it Malaysia. Yeah,
Okay.
Malaysia.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
As you know, Malaysia
So,
is a predominantly Muslim country. So, yeah, that's how it got introduced here. So many of our traditions are very similar to Malaysian people. Not exactly the same, but very similar. So we still fast for 30 days from sunrise to sunset. And then on
yeah,
the day of Eid al-Fitr, what happens is early in the morning, the men go to mosque to pray.
yeah,
And
yes,
then
like us.
oh, okay, perfect. And then when we come home, it's usually like a nice big breakfast with the family and
Yeah,
lunchtime and like the whole family usually. Like we take turns.
gathering.
Yeah, so one year everybody will come to my house. Next year everybody will go to my uncle's house. The next year everybody, so like that.
Our tradition, it's like your tradition.
Hmm.
We gathering sometimes we in a grandpa house, and
Yeah,
my families, my parents, my brothers, my uncles, families,
every
uncles. Yeah, everybody gathering, and and the children play in
yeah, yeah.
playground. Yeah,
And I don't know if it's the same. So like with us, like usually the younger kids and the children, teenagers, they usually
yeah.
buy nice clothes just for Eid al-Fitr. And then they put on
Yes, everybody buy new clothes.
yeah.
Yeah.
With me though, especially when it's Eid, I like to just wear, I don't know what you call it in Iraq, but I call it a kurta, your traditional dress. So when I
So
go to mosque, I leave that
you
like
wear
the whole
kurta?
yes, yes. Yeah.
Like a suit, or like
Yeah.
what?
So the one I have, I'm very lucky. My grandmother went on Hajj a couple of years ago and she bought
Uh,
me a nice black one from Medina. So that's what
uh-huh.
it's more formal. So it's got a nice collar and it's black long sleeve, very long. I love it. So it's very
Yeah. So you look beautiful
yeah,
when you
I
wear it.
try my best to look beautiful when I wear it. Yeah, so that's what usually happens. Yeah. Is it the same in Iraq?
What?
So is it the same tradition in Iraq? You guys do the same thing?
Yeah, exactly the same. I totally agree with you with all you say it. Your tradition like us.
Oh,
We gathering and we have a breakfast. You mentioned the breakfast.
yeah,
Also, the breakfast is very interesting
yeah,
and very important.
exactly. And
You know,
it's like,
because
yeah,
because you are fasting
yeah,
for 13 days. we don't used
Eat in the morning.
to have a breakfast
And that,
in 13 days.
sometimes that's how I feel also, you know, like on the morning, you know, when it's time to eat, you feel strange. You're like, I shouldn't be eating,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, I'm fasting.
So used to fasting. Yeah.
Yeah, because you are used to fasting. So when when you have a breakfast, you think in your mind, am I fasting today or not? Oh, this is this is Eid al-Fitr.
Yeah, it's time to eat.
It's
But also,
time to eat.
and maybe it happens with you as well, you know, because when you fast for 30 days, right, you can't eat
Yeah.
much as what you used to, you know, because your stomach shrinks.
Yes.
And then Eid al-Fitr
Yeah,
in the morning, you think, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat that, I'm going to eat. And then you only eat like one thing and you're full.
yeah.
That's usually
All diet rules will be shut down.
yes, exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah, I know.
so it's actually very similar then, yeah. And look, in South Africa, Islam isn't the main religion. Christianity is the major religion. But
Yeah.
I would say, I think there's 57 million people, more or less, that live in South Africa. And of the 57 million, I would say maybe 10 million are Muslim. So,
So what is the population, the whole population in Africa?
so in South Africa, I don't know in Africa, but in South Africa,
Yeah.
about 57 million, more or less. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah. So of the 57 million, about 10 million are Muslim, more or less. I could be wrong, but more or less. And then,
You mean 10 million Muslim, and the other is Christian.
yeah, so the others are like Christian, Jewish people, Indian people, you know? So, oh, yeah.
Hello again. I'm really sorry. We divided 30 minutes for 3 parts.
Perfect.
But
Like
but I really enjoy talking with you.
awesome. I'm glad. In that case, you can call whenever you want.
Yeah, I want to tell you a secret.
Yeah.
I was frustrated before I call you because
Okay.
I don't have subject to discuss with
Oh,
my tutor. So you
okay.
know when we don't have a subject, uh, um, you can express the word and the idea to reach the tutor.
Yes.
But with you, you make it easy for me.
No, I'm glad. I like to show my students because a lot of them, when they come to me, they're very nervous. They're very shy. They don't want to speak. So what I
Yes,
always try to do is I try to connect with them on something
yes,
that we find common, you know? So like I
yes,
shared with you traditions of my city. You did the same. Once that
yes.
happens, the student becomes more calm and then they speak as much as they can. And that's what
You
English
got
is all.
you yes you got a good options
Yeah.
for the great tutor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and also I don't want to. I don't want my students to feel like I'm a teacher. You know, like you
like
must
a
listen.
friend.
Yes, exactly. If you like friends, you can speak to your friend whenever you want. So
Yes, every you can talk about everything
yeah,
without worry about making mistake. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That's what my
sometimes yes, sometimes the student worry to do
yeah.
mistakes.
And there's nothing to. I mean, like I even say, part of learning is making mistakes. You know, I'm
Yeah,
27 years old. I speak English. I've spoken English all my life. I get
yes,
taught English. I even took English at university, but I
yes,
still make mistakes. You know, nobody's perfect.
yeah.
So what I
Yes,
always do is,
exactly.
yeah, I put myself in my student shoes. So I always think, imagine if I tried to learn Arabic. You
To
know, you can
learn.
speak Arabic.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how would I feel? You know, I would be very nervous and very shy. So I use that with my students and I try to make it for them as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
way you are succeed, because you put yourself in the position of student.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, like, if I was a student, what sort of tutor would I want? You know,
Yes.
Not-
Yes. Exactly.
and I try to be that tutor so that I can get my students to call me back, and so that they get excited about learning English. You know, like,
Yes.
I have so many students who are so afraid to learn English because of the teachers they previously had or the tutors they previously had. You know, that's very mean to them, or that shouts them, or makes them feel like they can't learn English. And it's very
Yeah,
dangerous.
and in schools we face teachers who wear glasses, and they act
Very mean.
like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
acting like
it's not a class. It's you feels like fighting with your mind.
exactly. And when that happens, you don't learn anything. You get nervous, you know. So
Yeah.
I try to stay far away from that, and then I use whatever the student gives me. So I find out what they like, and then we make
Yeah.
conversation based
And
on that.
can I ask you something? Yes. Can I share this lovely station on my YouTube channel
Oh,
to
of
encourage
course.
my friends?
Yeah, go right ahead. I don't mind at all. When you upload it, let me know, and I'll take a look as well.
Yes, yes. I will make it very easy and nice, because I
Awesome.
have many friends follow me, and they learn about English from me, and they enjoy with when I talk with the tutor from Cambly.
Perfect. No problem at all. Once you
Yeah.
upload the video, let me know, and I will take a look at it as well. Okay. But
Thank
Ahmed,
you.
thank you so much for calling me. I hope to see you soon, and
Thank
have a
you too.
great week. Okay.
Thank you. Have a great day. Take care.
You too.
Goodbye.